My name is Neel Naik. I'm a professor at School of Applied Arts in the area of audiovisual communication, and I'm also a PhD student at University of Byron Interior. The presentation I bring today makes part of my PhD research about over-the-top entertainment in the Indian subcontinent. Since the beginning of the time, human being has used the technology to succeed. The tools that we have designed have helped us to amplify our potential, but nothing has changed, created a bigger impact in our life till now compared to the digital technology. This theoretical paper is part of an ongoing PhD research project aimed to study the ever-growing genre of advertisement-based video on demand, specifically available on free-to-access platforms such as YouTube in Indian subcontinent. In today's presentation, I will try to talk about digital entertainment market, India's media and entertainment industry, a brief introduction to the growth story, how the digital revolution happened in India, what is the Indian internet landscape at this point of a time, what is over-the-top communication or media, and why that is being promoted in last few years. And at the end, we will talk about how that particular market has risen in last 5 years in Indian subcontinent. Digital entertainment is characterized by being or providing amusement or enjoyment displayed digitally on electronic devices such as computers, tablets, or smartphones. In recent years, the paradigm has shifted in the way that we consume entertainment. The days are gone where the entertainment was a social phenomenon, where everybody together went to theaters, concerts, and to watch plays. Advancement in technology, increased income, and availability of leisure time has given birth to a new way that we can consume the entertainment, and that is the digital way. Over the last decade, the living room, all family together social event that most of us have been grown up with, to sit together in the evening in front of the television and see certain kind of programs all together, has now given way to smart devices, which can access entertainment anywhere, anytime, and it's become very individualistic. The media industry and the stakeholders that come along with this industry are working around the clock to catch up with this new reality. India's path towards a successful digital future is brought about by a combination of demographic, globalization, technological advancement, and reforms by regulatory bodies. India has come a long way from its early days of computerization in 80s to digitalization in 2010. Now I will talk briefly about the growth story. In the years of 70s and 90s, India was a very limited GDP growth. There were lots of red tape from the government to implement any new kind of change in the infrastructure. And then at that time, equivalent of Indian media system, which is Doordarshan, which is equivalent to RTP here, were the main source of entertainment. In 80s and 90s were the beginning of computerization. There were massive policy boosts given, and a huge amount of internet and telecommunication industry was growing. India shifted from an agriculture and manufacturing country towards service sector country. In the 90s, there was a lot of reform created and a lot of liberalization of telecommunication sector happened. A huge impact of this was felt on television and telecom sector. And there were days that came in which gave increased in media content choices. So there were much more content to be seen in 19s than in the start of the 70s. Between 2000 and 2009, there was a sharp growth in digital communication, heavy investment in infrastructure from local and international investors, and there was an increase of content producers, not only in the national language, that is Hindi or English, but also in 22 different regional languages that is being spoken in India at this point of a time. In the last decade, India has shifted from desktop to the mobile and the 2G to the 4G connection. Smartphone is a go-to device for the new generation Z that has been the biggest client for this digital entertainment use. A huge growth in digital platforms, proliferation of digital media content via over-the-top applications, and rise in a new way of digital media content that is localized and personalized. India, like many other countries, is moving towards a society where digital is an integral part of life. Digital technology simplifies, enhances, and enriches lives considerably. Digital technologies have enabled us to work together online without limitation of any age, gender, race, religion. We can be sitting in any point of the world and we can communicate and create new things, just like what we are doing at this moment in this conference. Which are the driving factors that has created this transformation is that India has a very tech-savvy young population, flourishing startup ecosystem with a focus on tech-enabled services, availability of ubiquitous wireless connectivities, high-speed broadband, and dropping cost or very low cost of smartphones, increasing availability and adaptation of digital services, government support via initiatives such as Digital India, Smart Cities, and Future Skills, investment by businesses to strengthen digital infrastructure. That has been happening in the last decade. Since its introduction in mid-90s, the internet continues to evolve continuously and is gripping everyone's imagination regardless of the age or demographic. The digital literacy is on rise, bringing with it substantial mobile and internet penetration in last few years. Indians are adopting the new age technology with open arms. This has given rise to a new digital avenues and has resulted in an increase in internet-enabled channels, thus emerging as a key feature in the Indian internet landscape. India is the second largest online market behind China, with more than 450 million internet users. Approximately 59% of country's population is projected to be internet accessed, and estimately 2 billion devices are expected to be connected by the end of 2021. This brings us to the new phenomena that has been developing in last decade, that is OTT. Over the last decade, there has been a global transformation in how consumers watch videos and listen to music. The media industry is undergoing a transition like no other from the day of terrestrial broadcasting and public television viewing to highly personalized and small screen usage. Gone are the days that we are connecting with our terrestrial broadcasters or our service product providers. Most of our entertainment is on our palm on the hand devices that we carry. This has given birth to a new phenomenon called OTT, over the top. What is OTT? An over-the-top media service is an online content provider that offers streaming media as a standalone product. The term is commonly applied to video on-demand platform, but it's also not restricted to only video, but it also gives services to audio streaming, messaging services, or internet-based voice calling solutions. OTT services circumvent traditional media distribution channels such as telecommunications network or cable television operators. Why OTT is getting so popular? First reason is high value content at a very low cost. The only investment from a consumer point of view is to have a smartphone and a good internet connection. There has been a huge amount of original content being produced by OTT providers such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus in recent years. Compatibility with multiple devices, such as our set-top boxes or cable provider. You need a television, it's a fixed device. Instead of that, OTT entertainment platforms are or can be used in any range of devices, just as your game consoles, smartphone, tablets, or on your smart TVs. Rise of OTT market in India. A key factor perpetuating the increase in OTT content consumption in the fact that a significant portion of OTT content is being delivered on a mobile device. Globally, OTT players are showing stronger growth, with OTT revenues expected to reach 120 billion US dollar by 2020, compared to 64 billion in 2017, and the growth rate is around 13%. In India, 95% of households have a single television screen, and smartphone screen have become a primary streaming on demand source for now. Single TV homes, a low number of digital video recorders, and Indians are constantly on move are the key drivers of OTT growth in India. 100 million is the estimated number of single monthly users on the Indian OTT market by 2020, powered by the involvement of players across the OTT value chain. The big canvas has enabled both the subscription video on demand and advertisement video on demand to flourish and coexist. In this comparative study, we can see just in 2 years, there has been increased of almost 6% of time spent by anybody on the digital devices. And thus the television is being reducing. So the share of television has taken by the digital devices. Players are still trying to strike a balance between revenue streaming based on advertisement video on demand and subscription video on demand. The Indian OTT market is still heavily dependent on revenue based from advertisement, because still a huge amount of Indian population live with a very small budget to spend on entertainment. Thus, in the past few years, the advertisement video on demand model has succeeded in creating a strong consumer base on free to access platforms such as YouTube. There has been penetration of platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime, but just in a very niche market of urbanized youth. In past decade, there has been hyper competitiveness amongst the Indian OTT market with various players and various business models. The type of players that are there are broadcasters, social media, telecommunication operators, distributors, global companies, and then the others, which are the most interesting bunch of creative companies that has been emerged in last decade in India. The Indian OTT industry is hyper competitive and has been able to attract a different type of players, offering a variety of value proposition to consumers based on their different business models. All of India's big popular network have launched their own OTT channels, and they have put online their vast library of television content, augmented with additional content by licensing or creating original content. Major OTT international players such as YouTube, Netflix, YouTube, and Amazon Prime has extended their offering to India. YouTube has traditionally set the trend for Indians to watch online content. Many major OTTs have recently begun to invest substantially in local content, which is in local languages. Also, the telecommunication, for example, the biggest telecommunication companies in India, Airtel, Jio, and Vodafone Idea, are building models of aggregators. Independent content creators are developing their own OTT platforms. social media platforms continue to be an important source of video consumption, and social media players are leveraging this by increasing their focus on video contents. In this diagram, we can see that since 9 players in 2012, in 2018, the industry has grown 3.5 times, and in 6 years, from 9 OTT players, we have reached to 32 platforms that are providing entertainment of different kinds.
Neel, peço desculpa, só para dizer que temos que avançar também.
Sim, estou numa conclusão. Só tenho dois slides, ok? To conclude this introductory text to my research, the entertainment industry is experiencing a transforming turmoil, finding itself trying to embrace change and make way for a new age. Consumers are demanding for more options and control over the entertainment, and therefore content delivery methods and revenue generation models are experiencing major changes. The OTT services seems to have come to fill this void that was being felt in the entertainment industry, and rapidly is becoming one of the top mediums for product and service deliveries. Video streaming services are on the rise globally, and beyond global adoption rate, major opportunities of potential exist in non-entertainment markets, such as health-based and education. So that is the next decade's challenges that is coming in. OTT services are still rather new, and certainly will undergo a significant change in the years to come. And this brings to the road ahead. This pertains more to my research. With this contextualization, the research aims to study ever-growing demand of advertisement video on demand in the Indian subcontinent. My research will analyze various genres of AVOD products produced by a variety of content creators, from established big studios to this entrepreneurial small creative companies. The qualitative study will analyze the products from a creative and production point of view, and a secondary analysis will aim towards the role of the key stakeholders such as audiences, advertisers, content creators, and content aggregators in the creation, development, and success of these products. Thank you very much for your attention, and now I'm available for any Q&A. I will just close the screen share. So,
obrigado, Neel. Parabéns pela pesquisa extensiva. É uma área com muitos dados recolhidos para chegar a conclusões. Estamos a ficar um bocado atrasados. Eu vou perguntar se alguém tiver alguma pergunta, mas vai ser uma versão limitada de Q&A também.
Ok.
Se alguém tiver alguma questão para o Neel.
Também eu entendo, é um mercado que é não muito conhecido aqui, ainda no Portugal ou na Europa.
Eu só fiquei com uma curiosidade.
Sim.
É um mercado gigantesco que eu admito que não esteja coberto todo por fibra óptica. Como é que se faz a comunicação de tanto serviço montado neste OTT? Qual é a distribuição feita?
A maior parte deles é feita através do Wi-Fi e utilizando dados. Só para dar uma ideia, neste momento o dado ilimitado na Índia por mês custa não mais do que 3 euros. Se alguém quer, este deu o que é que o governo fez quando começaram a desenvolver a infraestrutura, é que sabia essa dificuldade de ter fibra óptica. Eles criaram mais vias para criar um network de 100 fios, em vez de fibra óptica. Okay. Nós temos muito mais infraestrutura desenvolvida no último 10 anos ou 15 anos, e investimento feito na parte de Wi-Fi, e neste momento estão a implementar mais dinheiro nas zonas urbanas e zonas rurais para a fibra óptica.
Certo.
E como é que nós podemos ver? Do anos de 80, 90 no Portugal, a maior parte das aldeias começaram a desertificação. Já agora estamos numa caos, mas isto está a acontecer na Índia agora, porque a maior parte das jovens estão a deixar trabalho agricultor ou serviços que precisam nas zonas rurais e estão a chegar nas zonas urbanas, trabalhar em indústrias e estão a dar muito impacto nesta zona. E estas jovens também têm uma grande tempo e dinheiro para gastar e ter entretenimento na sua mão. E outra coisa que está acontecendo no mercado na Índia é que a maior parte das plataformas deixam fazer download dos seus conteúdos. A maior parte dos utilizadores, em vez de utilizar dado em trânsito, eles utilizam onde que o dado é mais barato, faço download de uma inteira série ou grupos de vídeos que querem ver, e quando eles não estão a fazer nada e não têm muito dinheiro para gastar o seu dado móvel, estão a utilizar e ver estes conteúdos. É uma paradigma totalmente diferente. Isto que me deu esta, apesar de ter, sou indiano e gosto de explorar alguma coisa que está a acontecer. Depois que eu saí da Índia, esta toda a revolução aconteceu na minha ausência, mas é muito interessante de maneira que o mercado está a adaptar à nova realidade e ver novas vias para criar novos produtos e dar muito mais trabalho do que uma indústria cinematográfica ou uma indústria televisora. Neste momento, muito mais criativos, muito mais atores, produtores estão a trabalhar na produção do conteúdo digital media ou para OTT do que no cinema ou na televisão.
Ok, obrigado.
Obrigado, Neel.
Obrigado.